Well, let's move on and get ourselves focused on managing through the complexity to success. Right? We want to lay out the playing field. I think we've done a nice job of that, but I really want to get focused on those things that are really going to enable success, what we've seen in working with our clients who have been active in alliances, and really the foundation of how we look at it given the increasing attention around alliances going forward. And certainly focus on these factors, I think, is really where we've seen the impact play out. In terms of driving success, back to Curt's point, well, define success. Well, what was your objective? And it's not black and white. Yeah. So how do you get the greatest amount of success out of the alliance? Except in alliances are often a way to take on increased risk, do things faster, do things differently, and also not with control. So you have to plan enough in advance. So Nigel, why don't you start us off? Focus on the first one, partner selection and diligence.
I mean, I think it gets back to the point you were just making around understanding the motive and the goals and objectives of the alliance or the joint venture. And if it's entry to market, then you're looking at the culture and the discipline and the scale of that participant or alliance partner. If it's moving at speed, maybe it's the need for capital. You're thinking about potentially partnering with a private equity firm or some form of financial sponsor. It gets back to understanding what their motives are, establishing trust, and ensuring that you have the ability to work with that partner or alliance participant because you understand their goals and objectives. They may not be the same as yours, but so long as you understand them, that's a critical piece of the due diligence around that partner. And understanding why they're different from you and that they are going to bring to the alliance or the joint venture what you need, and is a primary foundation for the rationale that you have built into your strategic thinking around why you're going to use an alliance rather than an acquisition or a build.
Isn't that why, though, Nigel, often you find your best alliance partners within your current business ecosystem? It's something Greg was referring to earlier. Whether it's a current customer or vendor, it's that knowledge that you already have of your potential partner that can really help.
I think that's exactly right. I mean, that's a classic example, and one of the motives we were talking about earlier, as far as going up and down the value chain. It can be a win-win-win. Mm-hmm. You can develop scale, you can share in profitability, you can take cost out, and you can potentially create some form of barrier for competition, which is, all in all, can be very, very successful.
Well, what I reflect upon is kind of interesting. Thinking back to when we were back in school and we worked on group projects, right? And you formed a group. Did you want 4 people in the group that were exactly the same, or did you actually want different people in the group that brought complementary assets to the table? Mm-hmm. So your partner is not going to be exactly the same as you, but there's got to be a core element that keeps you bound together, and that's the trust that you have. But each party to the partnership is going to have something slightly different, because that's the whole reason you formed the partnership. Sure. If you were all exactly the same, you wouldn't need each other.
That's right.
So there's that balance of, yes, they're different, but yet there's this common level of trust that keeps us together and operating as a single unit.
Yeah.